Hi guys, welcome back to Pypro versus YouTube channel where curiosity meets the code. Today we'll be discussing about how to create an interactive binary and decimal clock using Tkinter. But before that, we'll be checking the packages pre-installed in my system. So the first command that I'm going to execute in command prompt is pip list, where you can see all the packages with the versions so I can give a look about what package is what version and update it accordingly. So you can take a look onto your packages. If not installed, please do install it. You can just Google how to install and there will be a command for that to execute in command prompt. Another command to check for all these is pip freeze, which gives a similar output where packages with the version will be mentioned. So let's start with the code, starting with all the imported modules. So as you can see here, we have imported Tkinter as TK, which is used for creating graphical user interface in Python, and we are imported time, which provides functions for working with time, such as retrieving the current time. For the main program, we are having a main class of binary clock under which different functions which include init, create widget, update the clock, and if you come down, we have convert to binary and convert to decimal, then colorize labels, and then the main execution loop. So we'll go one by one function, starting with method of def So you can see the constructor for binary clock class initializes a new instance for the class and we have super.init. This calls the constructor of the parent class tk.tk allowing the binary clock class to initialize as a tkinter window and we have self.title decimal and binary clock. So this sets the title of the window to decimal and binary clock and we have self.geometry 600 into 200. This sets the size of a window to 600 pixel wide and 200 pixel high. And we have self.configure VG is equal to black. This sets the background color of the window to black. And we have self.create widget calls the create widget method to create and configure widgets that is labels in this case of the window and we have self.update clock. This calls the update clock method to start the clock continuously, updates and the display time, updates and displays the time. So let's move on to the next method, which is create widget. So firstly, we have def create widget self. This defines a method to create a widget used in the GUI. And we have self dot binary label is equal to tk dot label self comma font Arial comma 24 justify center and background color is given as black and foreground color is given as white. This creates a label widget for displaying the binary time. The label uses Arial font size 24 center text, a black background and a white text. And we have self dot binary label pack places the label binary label widget in the window using the pack geometry manager and we have self dot decimal label tk dot label self comma font Arial 24 justified center again background is black and foreground is white. This creates a label for displaying the decimal time with similar styling as a binary label and we have self dot decimal label dot pack places the decimal label widget in the window. So let's move on to the next method, which is update clock. So firstly, we have the f update clock self. This defines a method to update the display time in both binary and decimal formats. And we have current time is equal to time.strf time. This gets the current system time in the formatted as hour, minutes, and seconds. And later we have binary time is equal to self dot convert to binary current time. This converts the current decimal time into binary representation. And we have decimal time is equal to self dot convert to decimal current time. This formats the current decimal time by adding spaces around the colons for aesthetic purposes in the GUI. And later to come down, you can see self dot binary label config text f binary. So this updates the binary label text to show the binary time, and we have self dot decimal label config text f decimal time. This updates the decimal label text to show the decimal time, and we have self dot colorize labels, which is binary time comma decimal time. This calls the colorize labels to change the background color of the labels based on the current time, and we have self dot after thousands comma self update clock. And later we have the next method, which is convert to binary method. So as you can see here, we have firstly def convert to binary self comma current time. This defines a method to convert a time string from the decimal to binary format. And we have binary format as an empty string. So later we have a for loop for time unit in current time split. This splits the current time into hours, minutes, and seconds and iterates over each unit. And we have binary time plus is equal to bin int time. So this converts each time unit to binary strips to OB prefix added by Python. Pads with zeros to ensure a consistent length of 6 and appends the semicolon to separate the units. And later we have return binary time. So this returns the formatted binary time string, removing the last extra colon and spaces. Next method we have convert to decimal. So firstly we have def convert to decimal self comma current time. It is defines a method that formats the decimal time by adding spaces for separation. And we have return current time replace. This returns the modified time string with added spaces. And let's move on to the next method, which is colorize labels. So starting with we have def colorize label self comma binary time decimal time. This defines a method to change the background color of the labels based on a certain conditions, which not correctly implemented for dynamic background changes in this snippet. And we have a for loop for I in the range length binary time. This iterates over each character in the binary time string. And if binary time I is equal to 0, it's check if the current character is 0, and we have self dot binary label config bg is equal to green. Sets the background color of the binary label to green if the character is 0. Else, otherwise, if the character is 1, self binary label configure bg is equal to red. This sets the background color. If it is 1, it sets it to red. And the second for loop is for I in the range length decimal time. It iterates over each character in the decimal time string. If decimal time I is digit and in decimal time I modulus 2 is equal to 0. That is, it checks if the character is a digit or even. So we have self dot decimal label color config bg is equal to blue. This sets the background color of the decimal label to blue if the condition is true. Else if decimal time I is digit. Otherwise, if the character is digit, implying it is an odd number, self dot decimal label dot config bg orange sets the background color of the decimal label to orange. And coming to the last execution part of the program, we have if name is equal to main. This checks this script is being run as a main program, and we have app is equal to binary clock. This creates an instance of binary clock, and we have app dot main loop. This calls main loop to start the event loop of the GUI. Quickly, let's see the output of the program. So as usual, we are going to where the folder is there, copying the name of the .py file, opening command prompt, and okay, It was the wrong one. So let me open command prompt and Python space filename dot py. So you can see it's keep on changing based on if it is 0 or 1 or if it's an odd or an even number. So every second you see the change. Thank you so much for watching. If you have learned something from this video, please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.